Welcome to Or to Know Better, Season 4, Episode 19. Jay's camera is still acting up. We'll see you in a sec.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Or to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard. Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No. You utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Hello.
I wasn't frozen. I was just doing that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? Who's missing? Someone's missing.
Usually a trio on the main pod. This is a delayed main pod, so just so everyone knows, we couldn't really get our shit together during the week with the midweek game, which just threw us completely. But, you know, it's all right. Me and Gilly did a bit of a pre-Sunderland chat on the last B&C anyway, so it's all right. But, Jay, what's your thoughts on Tuesday night? I know it's a bit of a while ago, but what are your thoughts?
Not long enough ago, mate. I still don't really want to talk about it. It's really, really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. It was just so inept. It was like that Stoke game again. We were just shit all over the pitch. And this is why we will not get the top two, because we don't have the consistency that the other teams have got. We're all going to lose games from here, but they're not going to lose enough for us to catch them when we keep losing the odd one.
Yeah, I'll tend to disagree with you there, Jay.
I'm shocked.
Well, I don't disagree with you all the time, man. Just every now and again, we have these, difference of opinions. I think, look, there's an 11-point gap now between us and Leicester going into Christmas. If the thing was, team at Christmas time always goes up, and they could pull a Leeds on it and blow the 11-point lead, and we could be the sneaky Sheffield United dudes coming up and taking second place.
Only Leeds can pull a Leeds.
Look, I'm trying to pull you out of this depressing hole that you're in straight off the bat now. Come on.
This is what this lot do to me, Karl. This is what they do to me. I want automatic promotion so badly. I don't want to see us in a playoff lottery. We know how that normally goes for us. Mm-hmm. I don't want it, but I can't get away from this feeling that we're too inconsistent, and that while everyone else is winning their games, we're going to do that every now and then. We'll win the majority of our games, no doubt about that, but every now and then we're going to do that, and that's why we won't catch them, I don't think. Not now. And anything could happen over 2 or 3 games. I mean, that picture could look completely different in 3 games' time, because we don't know what's going to happen. But you can only go on what you've seen so far, can't you? And I just don't see it. I don't see us catching and overtaking either of them now. I think we had our chance with Ipswich, and we've blown that.
Yeah, they do seem to be able to grind out results, whoever they play against at the moment. And I think that's our biggest letdown so far this season, is that we didn't play well against Stoke. We all know that, and I don't think we, like I said on B&C with Gilly, that we didn't play well in my opinion on Tuesday at all. No. I don't think Rutter was in the game. He was trying stuff and he was really falling over, and he was trying to play for that I'm backing into him, but he's pulling me down free kick far too often. This isn't like criticism of him at all. He's been absolutely fantastic, but he looked jaded. I know
we looked leggy.
Yeah, and it's that I think if we can get through, December fairly unscathed and still within some form of touch and distance, if we can get a left back, we need to have one lined up now, is essentially what needs to happen. 1st of January, bam, signed, you're in the team, get in, that's it, done. But if we can get through this month relatively close, I don't see why we can't still mount a challenge. I just think we need to start rotating. Like I was saying to a lad in work, a Leeds fan as well, and I was just saying, once we get that left back, Deej Spence straight into right back. Yeah. Take either Ampadu or Kamara out of the game to start and put Gray in there. And what you start to do then, in my opinion, is you start to rotate the three of them. So after 60, 70 minutes, you take Kamara out, put Ampadu in.
Yeah.
Next game, you leave Ampadu in, you take and Gray in. Then the next sub is Gray coming off for Kamara. So you're rotating them and you're keeping their legs fresh while also using the same system and not having to sacrifice a player that's not going to be able to do the same job as the next one he's coming on for. I think if we don't start seeing that soon enough, the Christmas is a difficult period, like, and we need to start seeing some fresh legs coming onto the pitch as well, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, nobody had a good game, but I thought Kamara had a stinker, particularly. Yeah. It just seemed like nothing that he tried to do came off. He couldn't pass it to the right person. He couldn't. It was like when he tried to win a tackle, it just didn't come off for him. If it came out of it, it fell the wrong way every time. You know, it was just one of those. Nothing that he did worked. I mean, nobody played well, so I'm not going to single him out in that. But it did stand out to me at the time. I thought he could do with the rest of him. Yeah.
Liam B's in the comments there saying rotating is a foreign word to Fark. We'll just have to wait and see. Like, it's not something that whenever you're saying it on here or on any social medias that you know better than the manager by any means. But you can see from the stands that, like, they are in a position now where they're just getting a bit tired. Like, they've been playing every minute of every game. Like, I don't think Kamara and Ampadu have come off at any point, really, have they? I think Kamara a couple of times in the 86th minute for Gruev. That's about the size of it. That's not particularly giving the guy a bit of a rest, like. But
yeah, Ampadu's played pretty much everything, hasn't he? It's very rare he gets subbed at all. If he does, like you say, it's late on.
And we also have to remember that Kamara was out of the picture at Rangers for a couple of months, where he was training with the youths. So he's not had massive game time over the last, prior to moving dust. There wasn't a lot of game time in his legs.
No, so there wasn't. I'm surprised he's not had more little injuries because of that, to be fair. He's done well.
Yeah, I you could put that down to the training he was doing because, you'd get the under-21s training at the same kind of level that the senior team would. Like, so you're still going to keep that fitness level there, but the game fitness is totally different to just fitness. Like, it's there's a lot different movements. You're putting pressure on different parts of the body, different turns, all that kind of thing. It's a massive, massive difference. So I do think that we need to start rotating them, but hold on a second here now. Is that Santa Claus?
Yeah, it might be. It just might be.
Hey! How's it going, man?
Nice to join us, mate.
Sorry about that, fellas.
You're early for 8:30.
Yeah, it was a funny one because I knew we were on at 8 o'clock, and then all of a sudden, I just, start watching a bit of Netflix. I'm going through. My kids left it till last minute to do a chuffing Santa list and stuff.
Oh well, blame the kids. Blame the kids.
And then I looked at clock and thought, is it 8 or 8:30? And this we're at 1 minute past 8. Bangs. Looked at my phone. The phone's going absolutely batshit crazy. I just went, oh.
To be fair, I'll throw you a bone here and tell you that I came up at like 7:31 thinking shit, I'm only 1 minute late, it's fine. And then I came on and realised there's no one on, it's 8 o'clock in it, and I went away again.
I've been sat here for about 15 minutes and I was still late.
I hate.
But at least I sorted all my internet shit out before I got on.
Yes,
I've done that.
Yes. Give you guys plenty of chance to sort your stuff out anyway.
That's it, mate. We've just been waiting for your insight, I don't know. What word would you describe it as, Karl? Smart is...
tidbits on the game.
That's not really where we're going, but okay. That's it.
We'll
yeah, so just to kind of catch up, Smarty, I don't know if you were listening there or not.
I was listening intently. To make sure I didn't miss anything. So I'm perfectly up to date with you, chaps.
Absolutely fantastic. So I'll just pass it over to you then, Smarty.
What my thoughts on the game?
The game and bits that we were speaking about, Jen.
We were just saying about Kamara as well. Didn't look good at all in that game.
Yeah.
Though nobody looked great.
There were a few lackluster performances, weren't there? I think... Do you know what? We don't seem to perform well midweek, do we? Oh, thank you very much.
We don't ever.
Hello, everyone else. No, we don't seem to perform well, and I don't like you said, Jay. I think a couple of them looked a little bit leggy. Ampadu, I thought were off at Kamara, like you guys have said. I thought Strike and Rodon were okay, but Somerville, Rutter just did not seem to look like they were at the races. But
Rutter was
you've also got to take into account how well Sunderland did actually play. The way that they basically kept solid, they kept us out. They were really, really well structured, and they were confident in what they're doing. They basically did exactly as they were told, and they executed it really, really well. So you have to kind of doff your cap to them as well, because they played really, really well. Did Sunderland?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't think it warranted a 1-0 defeat. I think probably a 0-0 would have been a fair result. But shit happens. It's a tough place to go. Is Sunderland, so they've got to play the reverse fixture down by us. So hopefully, we'll get something from them. But I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I know you have obviously said that we're an absolute shit show, Jay, and that we can hope for playoffs and all that sort of stuff. It's not over. We've been there with 11 points and more. Since
no, it's not. I know it's not. I said that myself. It could be completely different in 3 games, but just how it looks at the moment, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, turn up your mic a bit there, Smarty. I was going to say it.
Mic up.
Would you fucking
any
pump it
better?
up?
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's loads better.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I just think the way it's going and the way they're going, I think we're going to struggle to get above where we are.
I don't think we are.
No.
And you said you're on about consistency earlier, Jade. We have been consistent for the last 7 games prior to this game. We've dropped a couple of bollocks against Rotherham. We've dropped a bollock against Wednesday. We haven't lost them, but they've been pretty dire performances. But we've responded well. So I think Saturday coming around against Coventry is a good opportunity for us to right our wrongs, so to speak. And to put some more points on the board. But it's going to get, like I say, December is very heavily congested with games, and some other teams, Ipswich especially, probably, with their lack, Ipswich, they've got a severe lack of depth in their squad, so you'd like to think that they'll probably scupper a few games. But you don't know, do you? But it's never over. We've got 25 games to go, lads. Fucking hell.
I mean, we're clinging to the hope that we'll catch them, aren't we? And there's also the fact that Leicester are going to have the AFCON taking some of the squad. So we'll see what happens. It's like you say, it's not over. I don't think it's over. I'd much
prefer to be in this position, lads, than I would be, in previous seasons when we've been up and where the targeted people. The crosshairs on us. I'm quite happy just being not necessarily under the radar, but just nicely, just steady away in 3rd position, all the way to the last game of the season if need be. I don't give a fuck.
There's more pressure to stay up there.
Absolutely, and that'll once the pressure starts ramping up a little bit towards the back end of the season or whatever, those 2 teams are going to feel it more. And we're not. If we're guaranteed a playoff place, then the pressure's off. That's probably when we'll maybe start playing our best football. That may be when the pressure gets to them and they start fucking up. You don't know, do you? Like I said, 25 games is a long time in Championship. A lot can happen. So,
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
I was just going to say, Skip has put in here a comment going, surely the Ipswich game is a must win. We can't go 11 or 13 points behind and realistically expect to be challenging for an automatic spot.
Absolutely.
I think the Ipswich game is very important, but we also have to remember that Ipswich and Leicester play each other twice in the space of a month. And I said a couple of weeks ago, and I think Smarty, you were on as well, where I said, let's concentrate on catching second. Let Leicester beat Ipswich twice. That's 6 points.
I'm okay with that.
That kind of thing. I'm okay with second place, and I think it's still realistic that we can make an automatic place.
If that happens,
it's not impossible.
Who knows?
It's not beyond the realms.
It's not necessarily a must-win. There's no guarantee that Ipswich will be 13 points above us if we don't win. They might drop some points this weekend. We might gain some points on them. It's so all over the place. You don't know. It's not a consistent league, is it? Really? There's an argument to say that Leicester and Ipswich have had relatively consistent starts, but it's a complete freak of nature. It's never happened before. It probably won't happen for a very, very long time. The football league is fucking.
It's just because it's us.
How many years old? 100 years old, probably more. I don't know the exact number, obviously, but it's never happened like this before. I
think the commentator I think the commentator for the Sunderland game said something along the lines of, "We've got
Just
more
before
points
he
now."
managed to take all the Sunderland players' cocks out of his fucking mouth, especially Jack Clark. Did you know Jack Clark used to play for Leeds?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you know his family
this
were
is
fucking
before he
Leeds
got
fans?
started, yeah.
Well, sure. I think I missed it.
But he said something along the lines of, "We had more points now than Burnley did at this point last season."
Yeah, they did.
Yet we could still not go up automatically. It's ridiculous.
I was supposed to this afternoon. I was supposed to take a picture of the league tables. I had it, and I've let it go because I've been exceptionally busy today.
Well, what you could do, Smarty, is you could go on there onto FootMob. We're still open for sponsorship, and just have a look at the table on there. It's all on there, man.
Yeah, but it was side by side. It had last season's current positions, where Burnley, I think, on 38 points.
Okay.
Yeah, we would be top.
We would have been top by 3 or 4 points. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But
But look, let's not dwell on that, because at the end of the day, our disastrous August, because we didn't know who was going to be in the starting 11, staying, going, what the crack was. To say that we had that kind of a month right at the start of the season, to say we're in the position we're in, we can't knock it, and we can't get negative. I don't think. I think we'd have bit your hand off after the August start to be in the position we're in. So I think at the end of the day, 11 points is a big gap, but it's not unsurmountable for us to be able to go after it. I think it's
no.
And they have to come to us as well now. We've beat them in their place already, and they have to come to us. So we've beaten the top two in their own backyard, and now they have to come to our place, which isn't going to be easy for them at all. Like,
it's just upsetting when you beat them, then lose to others, isn't it? When they're so much better than everyone else.
It is, but like,
so frustrating.
You look at the game though, Jay. It was an open and expansive game, and they were trying to play football.
I know.
You know, Sunderland, for all, to all their credit, they didn't specifically attack like other teams have done. You know, I think, in my personal opinion, Swansea tried to attack us more. You know, there've been other teams that have tried to do. Middlesbrough, you know, they attacked more.
Yeah.
You know, so Sunderland did a good job and they played well. Don't get me wrong, but for me, my only fear,
they did.
Their only outlet really was Jack Clark. The only time he got the ball, I thought, oh, this could be interesting. But I also think, you know, unfortunately, after Archie Gray picked up that yellow card, we seemed to kind of slump off a little bit. Before that, I think, you know, when they made any sort of attacking moves and stuff, that we got the ball off them relatively quickly. They didn't seem that much of a threat in the early stages.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Card had got me. Obviously, Archie's got a bit to think about, Annie, but, you know, like I say, we've played better teams than that. I mean, people are going on like it was some sort of fucking David and Goliath match. I mean, come on, fucking hell.
That's the thing. You kind of got to look at that as well. I thought Archie, after he got that book, and he was very composed when he was marking him, and he did shadow. He did see him out a lot. He didn't dive in.
Did really well.
Like, to say that he was on a booking, imagine if he wasn't on a booking and the torrid time he could have physically given him then, if he wasn't already on that early booking. I think he did very well against him. And I think he showed a maturity beyond his years, because there's not going to be many.
Friend of the pod. We forgot what he looks like, but it's good to see him in comments.
Thanks. Yeah, Simon. I've got a screenshot of Sunderland with a flat back six at home too. Embarrassing. Can't argue with that, but it's the threat that we seem to give people now is that they're willing to piss off their home crowd for the sake of trying to beat us. So you got to hand that to
their own crowd, though, did they?
Well, they did.
I mean, clearly, anyone that's maybe so. They might have been frustrated slightly, but no more than how frustrated we watching fucking Marsh ball and some of the stuff. I mean, I've been frustrated sometimes, thinking that we could do more or do better when Fark initially took over. You know, in those first couple of games. With hindsight, obviously we didn't have as many players, and you know, blah blah blah. There's obviously reasons as to why, but at the end of the day, if your team's willing to put in that kind of disciplined performance and come away with 3 points, then what does it matter? It's a good thing for them to be able to show different styles of play and setting up differently to how other teams could come to Sunderland and try and
Danny says here as well. Might be embarrassing, but it works. I mean, you can't knock it, can you, if it worked?
No, exactly. So it's effective football, and they did a job on us, and that were it. Fair play to them.
Would anyone else have swapped Archie and Spence as soon as Archie got booked? Because I would have.
I wouldn't have started that way anyway. I don't know why you would play 2 players out of position when you could technically only play 1. It was something I did question. I thought I really can't see the logic behind it, but I'm not a football manager. I'm just a dickhead on a podcast. But
do you know why it will be? It'll be because he doesn't drop players who are doing well. So
I'm not dropping him. He's just changing his position.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Let me get there because we're a little way up the road yet. So if they play
I'm
well like
faster
that,
than you.
get fucked. If they both play well and they do all right in these positions, then when Sam Byram comes back and he puts him back in the team, he then has to drop whoever's playing at left back. And if that's Archie, because he's been swapped with Spence, it's going to be one of them. He's not going to want to drop him, and he's not going to want to punish him by having switched his position, then taking out a team. But then you can't drop Spence because he's doing well at right back. I think that's what he's tried to avoid in the long run. I could be just making it up and pulling out my arse, mate, but that's what I'm thinking.
I think Archie is more than capable of playing at left back.
I think he's more than capable of playing anywhere, Karl.
Pardon?
I think he's more than capable of playing anywhere. I think he'd adapt to any position if you gave him time.
Well, this is the thing. I think he would be okay at left back if it meant balance within the back four, having a natural right back in Deej Spence in his natural position. I think Archie is more than capable of playing in there. James,
is that a compliment?
I don't know. It must be laundry day, Jay, is it?
Maybe. I saw Knickers and it took my attention to the max. So well done.
I'd say it would. All right, yeah.
Couldn't take much with you.
No.
Look, Southie here says Archie in goal. Well, he is 6'2" apparently, so yeah, he wouldn't make
but
it.
But he protects his near post better than Melier.
Yeah.
Lad,
oh, let's not get into that. Melier made an absolutely fantastic save.
He did.
He made more than one or two, so I'm not going to slag him off.
I
saw someone. Actually, that's going to be the shit take of the week type thing, but. I'll just mention.
Have we got a take this week, by the way?
Well,
Carl's full of them.
Don't take that, Karl. Fucking tell him. Go on.
I can't because we'll get banned.
Some people just have to go too far, don't
they? They do indeed, yeah. But I just rein it in a little bit. Yeah, I've got. There was a guy basically saying that is it time that the Melier experiment was over? And that we get it. Yeah, it was on Twitter. And I was looking at it and I was like, he's been our number one keeper for about 4 years now. What kind of fucking experiment is that? And I just don't get it. Like, I don't get where the hate's coming from for him. Like, He referenced their goal, like Sunderland's goal, as if to say Melier should be doing more than that. He should be braver. He's absolutely clobbered in to Joe Bellingham, trying to get some touch on the ball. I don't know what you need to do that's more braver than absolutely cleaning the player out while you're trying to save the ball. Like, I genuinely, I don't know where. And
let's be honest, it was an absolute fluke of a goal as well, because it bloody little dipstick Pritchard in the box.
Yeah,
off a strike, it obviously wasn't a ricochet. It kind of meant it, but I think it even took him by surprise. And just lo and behold, it happened to fall to Bellingham, and he's just dead. I mean, Melier's got an absolute split-second decision to make there. Is he going to bring it down to his feet because he's a very, very capable player? He might do. He might let it drop to his foot, and he might go right. He might go left. He didn't. He stuck his nut on it. What the fuck are you supposed to do so close to him? Give the guy a break. Fucking hell. It could have been more than 1-0.
I've said it before. Yeah. He's not perfect, but who are we getting in this division that's better than him?
We've got Karl Darlow sat on bench behind him. Karl Darlow's a very good he's a very good keeper. We've got him from Newcastle. Him and, I dare say the majority of the fan base expected him to come in as number one. And Melier.
He came here to play first team football. No doubt about that.
No,
s'il vous plaît. Fuck off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Whatever fuck off is in French.
No doubt we'll have someone in the comments that's fluent.
I'm sure we will. I'm just going to address South here.
Okay.
Hang on. South
address him.
It's not a green tent, mate. It won't bring a comment up even though I'm clicking it. It's not a green tent, mate. It's the green screen. It's retired for the time being because the camera software is shit and it slows me down. And I want you people to get all of me in my glory.
What's your camera software called, Jay?
OBS, piece of crap.
OBS, we're not available for any sponsorship, all right? So just to let you know. Fuck off with your shit software.
Absolute shite.
Your potato
I'm
cameras.
gonna have to tidy this place up and put stuff on the walls, and like you lot.
Yeah. Well, Smarty's got a decorative window behind him with some blinds.
Ooh,
So
and a little Christmas ornament as well. I didn't put there. That's not put there on purpose, by the way.
With a view of Dewsbury skyline behind him.
Actually, no, that there's a golf course behind me. Actually,
Smarty lives on a golf course.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Do you get free membership?
No.
Oh, well,
No.
that's.
I've always said if I ever do decide to not be a lead season ticket holder anymore, then there's a good chance I might get a golf membership. But I don't see it in the near future happening in the near future. So
No.
You do like playing with balls.
I do like if you I do. I like thumping them fucking miles
Yeah,
an hour.
old-
Anyway,
A couple of balls.
right. We'll move swiftly along then. So I was going to do the shit take of the week, but instead, Jay mentioned something earlier on that's a bit of a milestone coming up in the Premier League.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So do you want to kick us off with it there, Jay?
You've put me on spot because we've not discussed any of this, but we're
Well,
just
you had time.
We're just talking.
Hey,
get
take
stuff.
a piss out of me. Hey, what time do you call this? Blah blah.
He's not told me that this is coming up. Anyway,
I did. I have it wrote down here. I told you before we went on.
No,
you
get
told me that
lost.
it was episode 19.
Get lost.
I have
Anyway,
it down here.
We saw a headline today, didn't we? That we're going to have the first female Premier League referee and the first black Premier League referee in 15 years. That's mind blowing to me.
Why is? Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Uriah Rennie used to.
Uriah Rennie, the last one.
This is a
2008 or
very,
something.
very peculiar topic to spring on me. Is this?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to talk about it yet either, but
No, fair play to the female referees. I think it's taken too long to have some sort of representation at that height. That level. Fucking great. I don't understand why a black player coming in after so ever many years is as much of a big news. I don't understand.
Well, it's big news
we've
because
had black
it's
referees. I don't understand why it's such.
Yeah,
a big
but it's like, why has there not been one for 15 years? Like, there must be some people out
There's
there
obviously
that
a
want to
reason.
do the job.
There's obviously a reason. If they're good enough,
Clearly
they
not.
get
There's
there,
only
don't they?
one.
But they
Well, that's
don't
what I mean,
always, do
but-
they? They don't always
don't
because football's shitty like that. Look at the lack of black managers and stuff. It's not the most welcoming profession, let's say, for people of colour.
All right. So,
It's one of them. I don't give a frig what the gender they are, what race you are. And if you're good enough to do the job, then that's absolutely fine by me. I don't understand
I'm
why you
saying.
have to make a big, massive hoo-ha out of a lot of it. But
I'm saying.
I think before we fall through the ice, of which we are very, very fucking skating on thin stuff, I think let's leave that one. If I'm honest.
Well, I'm not going to just leave it there, mate. I'm going to say a tiny bit more.
Go on then. Mate.
I'm not going to say
I'm going to shut the fuck right up.
And I was just going to say, to be fair, like, as long as the referee, as long as the female referee, as long as she's fit enough, then I don't see why she can't do the job. As long as she can keep up with play, I don't see why there'd be an issue with that. It will be interesting, though, because women do insist on always being right.
anyway, just gonna move Jay.
That was Jay, formerly a member of Automator.
It's nice knowing you, Jay. You take care, man.
I'm just gonna hide from Alison now and all the other female fans.
Alison's gonna kick your hole.
Well, Simon, there
would
is.
like to
Why
go.
not? Why don't you come? I can send you the link if you want, and come have 5 minutes.
Come on,
Jump in if
Simon.
you want, Simon. We can
Jump in,
have
man.
10 minutes.
That's if he's allowed. He's might be under thumb.
Oh, get that iPad switched on,
I
Simon.
tell you what, he's a fucking superstar, is Simon. He gets some right shit. He'll end up.
Sounds
He's
like it is, yeah.
like Cinderella. He'll be cleaning floors and all sorts of shit,
He will, yeah. He
running
will.
after his dogs.
I'm just going to respond to Simon.
Have you finished that rapping, Simon? You useless bastard! Yeah. I give a fuck if you want a footballer.
And that's just the dog.
Put them pretty bros on and all. Anyway.
Yeah, when I said about being fit enough, Southie, I meant when you compare to like some of the refs are like, what are they like 50-year-old men now? And if they can,
Need I say more?
if they can keep up with it, then I don't see why anyone
shit.
else can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, there
poor
you go,
Si.
folks.
Simon's
He is
doing the washing up.
He's listening in kitchen thinking, those bastards are talking about something I'd like to talk about. And they never do that, for one. They've not asked me on for bloody ages.
Well, I suppose we could do another top. We could do this as an external or separate subject to stuff, and perhaps bring Simon and some others on to discuss it.
We could if people wanted to see it and talk about it.
But we'll talk to Simon.
We'll look into that. He'll be getting beaten if he doesn't finish them plates soon. Anyway, she won't be happy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Make sure you rinse them properly, Si, and dry them off.
Right. Look, let's leave Simon to the dishes. He might join us in a little bit, and we'll move on to the Coventry game. Smarty, how are you looking at this one now? Have you seen much of Coventry this season? Have you managed to pull together some form of theory as to how it's going to go on Saturday?
Well, it's nothing else but a win for me. They're coming to Ellen Road. It's our fortress. It's our stronghold, so to speak. They're relatively low down in the old Championship. They are currently... Oh, no, they're not. They're higher than I thought they were. They weren't that high. They're 14th. But yeah, I mean, they're a good old club, aren't they? They've had a bit of a shit time of it. Country, they seem to be starting to looking like they're getting the shit together. But for me, I don't particularly know of any superstars that they may have. I haven't really looked, too far down the table. I've not really looked at many teams outside the top 3 or 4 teams. Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich, and a few others. I don't have time for it.
They sold the best players, didn't they?
Yeah, Gorky has.
They had Hamer, didn't they?
Hamer's gone, because we were looking at him, but I don't really know any
striker,
others.
Yeah.
I got
no, I don't be on that.
He went to Sporting, didn't he? And your man went to Sheffield United.
So I don't know, but anything. I mean, I can't really say anything but win is acceptable because I would be a hypocrite after what I've just. But yeah, I think 3 points. I won't say 3 points, but I will say 3 points. It'll get us nicely bouncing again. I hope that the players have taken on board what I'd like to think that Farker will bloody use substitutes more frequently rather than wait until the fucking death to completely change our style and completely change our lineup. If it starts to go a little bit airy, but
instead of more frequently, how about just do it early rather? Not well, I suppose frequently, but more often. But just to do it earlier, 65 minutes, 70 minutes.
Earlier. Well, not necessarily all together. He likes to bring on multiple substitutions and to try and make a big impact and stuff. Just make subtle little tweaks here and there. If something's not working, like I don't know, Kamara might not be performing. Push Gray in up front, up into the middle, take him off. I mean, he hooked him anyway. I can't remember who it were a double substitution, wasn't it? I think Bamford and Joseph came on for Kamara and someone else. Make the little tweaks earlier.
He took a defender off, didn't he, for him? I'm sure he took a defender off for him. It wasn't strike, were it?
No,
Strike and Rodon played the full night, didn't
they? Deej Spence.
It might have been, yeah.
I don't know, but I'd like to think. I mean, if we can see it as fans and stuff, and people on the outside can see that tweaks or changes are needed. I don't know how they're frigging out with the first team coach doesn't.
I'd be swapping Spence and Archie definitely.
Yeah, I think so as well. But we're at home as well, so he'll probably look at the home advantage in some form of way and think, right, okay, I don't need to do much with it, which would be a little naive of him to think but. I think we need to see changes sooner if it's not working. Yeah, he'll start to hear it from the crowd.
So give the players a chance to make a difference from the bench.
Yeah,
you bring them on early enough to do that.
Well, we haven't seen an awful lot of Gruev. If we're fairly in control of the game,
it's not a bad thing.
I'd like to see him.
Not a fan.
I'd like to see him given more time. Just out of, maybe it's just sheer curiosity to see what else he can do apart from sideways and backwards.
Yeah, he's like you say, I think he's kind of a safety blanket in it to bring on just in case you need numbers, that kind of safety net in the middle of the park. I was going to say, from what I've seen, I've not been impressed, which I haven't, but then again, I haven't seen enough of him. So, I don't
think anyone has.
Yeah, a little bit.
Really, so it's hard to say in it, but yeah.
Did he start at Stoke when we were terrible?
I don't even think he started there.
Because I'm sure there were a couple of
Did he start in
changes.
the cup
'cause,
game?
He was saving a couple of players.
Yeah, he started against Salford.
Yeah, he started against Salford, didn't he? But we haven't
Yeah.
really seen much of him since. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but no. You don't. I will always go back to that. You don't change your winning team. But we haven't won this week.
No, we haven't.
Well, so do you give Archie a rest? Do you put Jed Spence at right back? Is Shackleton back now? Has he been training?
I've not seen anything yet.
I'd try, even if I'd probably try Archie at left back. Let Jed Spence do what he needs to do at right back. Let him play in his actual position, and crack on from there. And I'm sure, like you guys have already said, that Archie will be able to play in friggin'. He could replace Melier if he wanted. He's like our new Stuart Dallas, innit?
Yeah,
I don't think anything phases him. So yeah, stick him at left back. See how he does. If he starts going south or he seems to be struggling, swap back.
Yeah. I noticed so many times how uncomfortable Spence looked having to come back onto his right foot to play the ball.
He lost
it. He fucked up his moves that he were doing and the passing play because he were having to stop and turn.
Yeah, it took the momentum out of his breaks forward, like where he was very much on the front foot and he'd have to come inside on his right foot to feel comfortable and try and get the ball away. Very, very
one-footed.
His pace, I can see his pace being absolutely lethal. If he's on the same wing as Dan James, that's frightening for any midfielder that has to track him back and Dan James at the same time.
He could do for us what Ayling used to do when he was at his peak, when he used to bomb down that wing. He'd receive a ball up at top and he'd get it in. We could use that again.
Yeah. We've got Jay, you've said a few comments here. I'll go with
I have.
Yeah. Do you want to go with them or do you want me to go it?
You go for it, mate.
All right.
So 6 tones of yours.
Tony O'Shea has come in with Coventry will be a tough test and will be a banana skin for us. We are not at full strength and I'm a bit worried as much as we need the points.
Full strength?
We're not far off.
Well, I think
missing left back.
What do you mean, Tony?
Maybe he means Shaq, Dallas. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're not starters though. Your full strength is your first team that you'd always put out.
You're only missing one player.
Yeah, that's true.
It's only Byram that's missing.
But I do agree with Tony saying that it's a potential banana skin. I think Coventry are no slouches. Going off Smarties, no, they're not too far up the ocean.
Actually, 14th.
Yeah,
they weren't though. But it could be a banana skin. Yeah, it could be. But it could also be. We could win 3 or 4.
To be fair, if one player's missing, then we're not at full strength. He is technically right.
Ish.
Yeah.
I refer to not being at full strength like when Bielsa was shagged by having a plethora of fucking children in the first 11, or like at the start of the season when we had to field 2 fucking have 2 substitute keepers on the bench. That's not being at full strength. Having a half biscuit fucking Sam Byron at left back. No offense.
He's doing well.
He is doing well, but he's prone to injury. So Sam Byron hasn't played every game. He's been in and out. So does that specifically say that he's, part of the starting 11 as consistently as you would if it was your full strength team? Perhaps not. But
I do agree with Tony there.
Yeah, he is, but he's not being consistent as he's not there all the time.
Well, I think he's definitely played more than he's missed. He give himself a bit of longevity. To give himself a bit of longevity.
But I wouldn't say, oh fucking hell, we're not at full strength, we're going to lose because we ain't got Byram. Certainly not.
Well, okay, at the moment, do you feel our back line is more comfortable or less comfortable with him in it?
With him in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's more settled because you've got a team that's played more and more often, with each other, that back four.
But it shouldn't be pulled apart by having someone else.
But the thing is, that back four shouldn't be that back four because Spence should be at right back and Archie Gray should potentially be either on the bench or up front. So you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
I get that, yeah. But it was just a bad timing that Spence had to come on for Sam Byram because he was injured. That's just bad luck. That's not anything Byram could have potentially helped or anything like that. But I think we do miss him when he's not in this team. Like he wasn't in the I don't think he was in the team against Stoke either. And we badly missed him there. I think when he's not in the team, we're definitely more on the back foot. Well, he was in against Stoke, to be fair, yeah. And he got the 7.8, like, you know. But we do miss him more often than not when he's not in the team. Like, I think he's become one of those players now that when he's fit and he wants to play, he's. I don't think we can drop him at the minute.
Mm. I know what you're saying. My only point was the fact that you've got an interchangeable player like Byram. You know, people will argue that our best, lineup at the back at the minute is potentially Byram, Stroik, Rodon, and Jed Spence. However, we've got at the minute, or what we've seen is Byram, Rodon, Stroik, and Gray at the back. So there's people saying, "Oh, it's his best starting 11." However, I want to see Spence play over Gray. So, there's conflicting arguments there. So But anyway, we've probably spent too long on that one. But
maybe So just going on to carry on about the game Saturday. Everyone's going, are you?
I thought you were going to start comments. Yeah. Sorry.
No. You're all going to the game anyway, are you? No. We'll go back into the comments in a sec. Yeah. So Liam is singing from the same hymn sheet as me at the minute. I want an early goal every time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, for us, not for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't think I'd need to spell that part out. Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot lately, hasn't
there? I definitely
it's nice
want
to see early goals and us continue to play well rather than get an early goal and take us foot off the gas like we've seen a few times this season as well. And
like that Huddersfield game.
Yeah.
Awesome to half time and then garbage after.
So you like clean sheets, don't you? But sometimes when we go 1-0 down, it seems to kick us in the arse and we, seem to crack on from there.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Paul Brennan's in the comments. How are you, Paul? It will be a tricky match, but we need to win on Saturday. Fingers crossed. Absolutely, Paul. I think we've got enough in the squad and the team to continue to be undefeated at home.
I like to think so.
I'd like to think anyway. Also got Scooby here in the comments. How are you, Scooby? A team that usually makes many chances didn't make many against Blackburn and have a game or 2 2 or 3 days later, you rotate. Even if we won, proactive. Don't wait for drop off. Know it's coming.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
It's difficult to I get what Scooby's saying there, and it's hard to hear it straight up as well, because if the fan, like you said, Smarty, if the fans can see it, why can't Farker?
Yeah, but it's difficult. It's not like Football Manager where you can look at your squad and see who's fit and who's not, because I've got a percentage thing next to them that shows you. You can only look at them in training and speak to them, and if they say, "Yeah, I'm fine, boss," and then they go out there and they fucking got one leg. You know what I mean? What can you do at that point? It's too late. You've got to trust them to a degree.
On Wednesday, there were that many lethargic performances. You were probably like, "Well,
Tuesday,
hell, where do I start?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who do I pull first?
You can't rip them all out.
No, exactly. So,
and that brings me, smoothly on to Skip's comment. What player for us would be the biggest miss? Now, I want to kind of elaborate on that. Of our potential starting 11 on Saturday, who would be the biggest miss?
Somerville.
Smarty.
Everything's going through him at the moment.
No, for me, it's Rodon.
Ooh. Controversial.
With Somerville, you've got potentially replacements in Nonto and Jaden Anthony. With Rodon, you've got Cooper.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'd be more comfortable in ripping out Somerville and sticking Jaden Anthony or Nonto in than ripping out Rodon and having Liam Cooper in there. No offense.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that, but I still think we'd miss the presence of Somerville in the team more.
I think we'd still be effective going forward without Somerville. Ideally, yeah, we don't. Because he's our best player.
But not on the same level.
But I just think with Rodon, we are really, really opening a can of worms of potentially getting suckered in there and losing because I don't rate Cooper anymore. So I just don't. I think Cooper next to Stroik is just a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it is absolutely.
I just do not think, especially the frailties of the defence at the minute, because like I say, Simon Byram's not here, and we're swapping right backs and left backs, and I think if Rodon went missing, we'd be absolutely up shit creek.
When Cooper gets turned and he's left for dead and tries to chase after him, he goes back in time, man. He don't get any closer. He goes backwards.
Fucking milk turns quicker than Cooper.
I'd have to say Dan James for me, but but going on Smarty's explanation there for saying that he wouldn't mind about Somerville, I'd be kind of the same thinking for Dan James. But I think Dan James he's turned into this player that we actually bought. The player that we wanted him to be. Now, that's obviously no slight on past managers, except Jesse Marsh, obviously.
You do love a little scum bastard, don't you?
But I think his finishing and his final ball has improved so much that, like you said, Jay, as well, everything's going through them and stuff like that. The pair of them. Yeah. But
you can't drop him, can you? He's playing brilliant.
No, you cannot. But I would have to say either Strike or Rodon for me, if one of them, because if either of them come out, Cooper goes in.
Yeah, I do get that.
That's not giving Coop shit now by any means. I
wouldn't be as panicked if it was Rodon and Cooper, because Rodon, he's got pace.
He can cover him.
He's a very, very good player. Whereas I think Strike, I don't think he's as good as Rodon anyway. But I think that having two left, not that there's an argument for it, and I'm not getting into the whole having two left-footed centre backs or whatever. But I just think Strike and Cooper are just absolute flat no.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, do you think Dan James is like having the season of his life and it'll never be repeated?
Well, he repeated it when he was playing for Swansea in Championship. It's exactly the same. He were doing things then. That's why he got so well known. That's why
I didn't really follow him when he played for them, so I've never seen him play.
I only obviously I think as did most. We only knew about Dan James when fucking there were a little tile in Bielsa's press conference when Dan James thing. That's why Dan James. We're looking at Dan James. Oh fucking hell! And that's where that whole thing came from. But when you looked at Dan James's season for Swansea, that last season, he was phenomenal. He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
and a player of his caliber.
I recall that he was well thought of, but I've never seen him.
Well, Scum signed him. Scum like to fancy the chances with a few good players, and then they ruin them, which is why we picked him up for a snip at fucking £25 million.
Only 12.
They are the gift that just keeps giving at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, but he should do well at this league, and so should so many others. I mean, how many fucking times did them dickhead, commentators say, "Oh, this is a Premier League team, and Premier League players are getting sort of plucky Sunderland." What plucky Sunderland when they were fucking relegated, wasn't it? No. And we'd been in doldrums for fucking 16 years.
Exactly.
So, fuck you pricks. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll just throw this one in
do with that shit.
As a bit of a curveball. Tony O'Shea. I think Bamford can still do a job, but he needs minutes.
No.
A job doing what? Painting?
He needs a bus pass. So he can
does someone need an office wallpapering? Oh, fucking hell.
No, just no.
Do you think
It came on Tuesday, and I was just like, why?
Could we have him?
What the fuck is he going to do?
Could we have him in fan zone, dressed as Santa and cheering kids up?
Would you prefer, in those situations, maybe if that's the case on Saturday, would you prefer Jaffe to come on instead? Joe Gelhardt, and then obviously you've got Matteo Joseph then as well. Would you prefer?
Once upon a time, I'd have instantly said Jaffe, yeah, but now I'm not so sure.
I'd have preferred them because they went so high and obviously employed a high line, and they basically threw every fucking attacker that we had on there. Stick fucking Cresswell up there.
Mm.
I mean, I know this is bullshit or whatever.
Give it a bit of the old Dion Dublin.
Take it however you want. We used to, bloody semi-final at frigging playoffs. We had fucking Pontus Janssen up there trying to nod him in. He's a big presence. If you're going, at the end of the day, they're expecting players to start whipping him balls in, and for some reason, we don't like to shoot outside the box. Fuck knows why. It fucking grips my shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
But get Charlie up there at the top and get him fucking pulling players around it. Bamford's got the 50th pence head I've ever seen in my life. He'd probably try and hit it towards goal. He'd fucking hit it back to road.
It could go anywhere, couldn't it? It could go anywhere.
He's absolute dog shit, is Bamford.
He's like a warped
Especially
salmon.
in that situation where it's absolutely, like you said, they're like sardines in there, and Sunderland are absolutely crammed in. And best of time with a million mile of space, Bamford will lose control of the ball.
That pissed me off.
What are you expecting him to do? What are you expecting him to do there?
That pissed me off.
Hello, my name's Bamford. Do you like my new hair?
The lads didn't know it was me at half time.
Jesus. We were chasing that game, and we're in stoppage time. We were still passing it back and forth along fucking line, back one side at pitch. Still, why aren't you firing it in and having some shots and stuff at that point in stoppage time?
Yeah,
that annoyed the fuck out of me. Did that?
Just sit Rodon on the
too
halfway line.
patient sometimes.
But like you said as well, Smarty, I'd love to see more shots on goal from outside the box on Saturday. There's been a couple of chances where, opportunities rather than chances where we could have had many shots, like first half of games, second half of games. We just don't seem to bother our arses, and I don't understand why we don't. Like, we've got some players who can strike the ball. We've seen Somerville do it. We've got video footage of Rutter doing it in another club colours.
I thought the point
for Christ's sake,
with Pirro,
yeah.
I thought the point with Pirro was that he was supposed to be arriving at the edge of the box when there's a ball coming in.
Late
so
into the box, not on the edge.
Patrick Bamford,
but if you come in late into the box, you're at the edge of the box as the attack's coming in.
Yeah,
so either pings out to you or you go in.
Yeah, but I like our shot tally is terrible, like, and most of it, whenever it happens, is inside the box. Not effective, really, sometimes. But look, I'm actually not going to start going down that road.
You're going to start talking about XG in a minute, aren't you?
No, I am not. Just because I'm reading a book.
The 14th quadrant, like that geezer that one of you lot were talking to on Twitter. Were it Luke?
It was Luke. Of course it was Luke. He'd fucking argue with himself in a phone box, that guy.
He's not doing the right thing in the 14th quadrant. I mean, who even knows what that means?
Is he Jesse Marsh in disguise, I wonder?
I think so. I think it's from Footy Manager when you use...
Oh, he nearly got all the way to the end of the pod.
I froze, didn't I? Froze.
He still froze.
I'm not. The pitch used to be divided into all these squares on the tactics screen, and I think he's just like looked at this and he's started coming up with something, and he's called these squares quadrants and tried to sound like he's a revolutionary tactician.
You never know. It might work.
That's just my take from what Luke said.
Yeah. So, should we try and... I'm going to move on from that now because we don't...
Jay would love a mild stroke.
I would. I would. Don't you mind?
Just before we go on to predictions, I saw something on Twitter today, and I'd thanks, Jamie. And because I was wearing yellow last week and he didn't like it. So.
Wow, well, you've got to please the fans, mate.
I saw a vicious rumor that Brendan Aronson's loan spell at Union Berlin might be cut short in January and he might be coming back.
Dear God, no. Well, I tell you what, Leicester are going to lose a load of players to AFCON, so maybe we could say, hey, we've got this lad, international, he's played all over Europe. He'd do great for you. Hold out your hand.
Surely, if teams can't pull the players back because they're contractually, obliged to, then surely it works the other ways where teams can't go, please take him back off our hands. We can go, absolutely not. He's yours until the end of the season.
I would imagine they'd be able to send him back and cancel his registration, but they'd have to keep paying whatever contracted fee they had for the loan. So it'd be pointless to send him back.
Yeah. Either way, I don't think he should come back at all.
Ever.
At all. Like, I think if he got kicked about and he was on the ground more often than not in the Premier League, the Championship would absolutely batter him. Like,
absolutely. He'd be curled up in a ball. He'd be in fetal position in centre circle, crying for his mum.
Yeah, I don't think he's capable of playing in a division like. I
think it'd make a man of him, me. And I said this at the start of the season. I was disappointed to obviously everyone leave. But I stuck my head on the block a little bit and said, I did think that Brendan Aronson might have done a job down in the Championship. It was like it'd either sink or swim, like the baptism of fire. You know, I think it could have done him good. I think it would have been a man of him, but we'll never know.
It'd be coming in crying. He'd be going, "Boss, they're kicking shit out of me out there." And I could just be like, "Yes,
welcome to
I
football."
yeah.
Who? I don't think you'd put him in ahead of anyone, though.
Nah.
Oh, Aronson.
Yeah, there's no one he'd get in ahead of. Like,
no.
That's the main issue. He's just going to be a sub sitting on the bench.
We've got a better squad now than we had last year.
Yeah, that's fucking fact.
You'd think he'd be quite like muscular, Aronson, because you know when he's running with weights attached to make sure he don't blow away on wind. Should bulk him up a bit. That.
Who was it that called him a silver Rizzler paper last year? Was that you? Was it?
Sounds like somebody said.
Yeah.
I think me and Gilly might have called him it, but I certainly did anyway.
Rizzler paper's useful.
Like a Rizzler in the wind.
Yeah, Paul Brennan, I think, speaks for majority. Don't want him back. In fact, don't want any loan players back. All jump ship to me. Goodbye.
Absolutely. Too right.
A lot of them. For fuck's
sake.
Right. Not like Paul. Paul must be angry. He's put "for fuck's sake" in there, but he's only put.
He has and an angry face,
and he never does that. Everton okay, Paul?
You've got him riled up now talking about that prick Aronson.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
This is the emotion that those players stir in Leeds fans. Nobody wants to see him again. Not a single one of them.
But it's not even good emotion, you know, like when you used to watch Viduka and all them boys back in the day, and the emotion was like this really good feeling. When I think of them, it's like my ex. It's like,
yeah,
just do without you. Like, just don't be around. You know,
just not exist anymore, please.
Yeah. Could you not be in my space?
Seeing Viduka put 4 in against Liverpool made me feel like this must be how people feel when the child gets born or something. Do you know what I mean? The joy.
Yeah, I very much. Yeah, I'd say so.
That kind of emotion.
No, that's not even close. But I'll let you crack on. It's fine.
Not even close.
Not even close, but it's fine.
You're jaded though, because you know the misery. You know the misery that comes after the childhood.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man!
I forgot to ask you guys when we talked about the game before. Should Somerville have gone down?
Ooh,
I mean, we never talked about that. It's one of the main talking points from the bloody game.
Sorry, yeah. I think he should have.
That's what we do here. I think he should have. He wanted to score, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can't believe the ref didn't even give him a booking.
No,
even if he carried on, he chose to.
It was still a foul.
No, that's what I said. I had a few people around, and
that's the point, isn't it?
That should have absolutely been not. Obviously, his played advantage. He's played through the foul, fine, but he should still be booked.
Yeah.
It should be pulled back after that when there's no advantage.
Well, like if he plays the advantage, then that's grounds for a free kick, and if it's a free kick, then he gets booked. Like so, you always bring it back. Like,
and if he's going to book him, doesn't he have to give the red because of what the foul is? Because he's the last man. Or are you unable to do that if you've played advantage?
I don't know.
Because to me, if you're going to card him, it's got to be the red, hasn't it? Because the guy should have gone. He should have gone down. He should have gone down, but he shouldn't have to go down.
The whole thing was a bit tunnel visioned. I can't remember what players were around him and from what, obviously, I don't know. I can't.
There were nobody. It were the only one clear through in their half. The guy behind him had hold of him briefly. And then didn't one of our lads catch him up?
I remember Somerville going through a cluster of their players and their last one time.
Eventually, yeah.
But I don't know.
He was through. I'm sure he was through on goal.
Anyway, it should have been a yellow.
I'm going to have to find it now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. You find that. And what we'll do, Smarty, is we'll just move on to one of the last bits here.
Auto know better predictions.
Having a shit takes of the week.
I thought we did it earlier on, did we not?
Did you can it? Have you sacked it
off? He decided to talk about a female ref and black referees instead.
I kind of had my bit of a rant about Melia.
He's gone rogue, mate. There's no structure when Karl's in charge.
I try, man. I write it down, and then you tell me I haven't wrote.
Like, me and you two are fucking idiots, and
I write it down,
in his head.
and then I'm told I didn't write it down. It's like, you fucking prick. So yeah, get the predictions in. First fan in. Who's got it? Jesus, they were all very quick.
Jesus.
It looks like Liam. Liam definitely the quickest one today.
I've found it here, Smarty, so I'm going to show you after predictions.
Go on then.
Okay. Liam's gone with 2-0 win.
I
Smarty.
like that, Paul. John even. John's going 5-1 to Leeds. Go on, John.
Is
John,
he?
your LUFC Garside in the comments there.
Big John.
Go on, John.
Good man.
What did Jay do?
I'm going for 2-0 Leeds.
Well, I hadn't actually asked Jay yet, but okay.
Oh,
2-0
sorry.
Well, we're there now.
I had asked Smarty, but
I
that's
missed
okay.
that because I'm reading comments. Apologies. I am going to go. I don't want to go same as him because then it looks like I've fucking copied him. But I don't see us conceding. 3-0. Fuck it.
Ooh, big one.
I think 2-0. But yeah, I'll go 3-0 because I'm not copying Jay.
Fair enough. I've actually got a feeling it'll be a narrow 1-0, but I like to think we've got more than that, so I'm going with 2.
I'm going to
We'll, go out there with the bit between their teeth on Saturday, I think.
Either that or we'll go out and concede in 10 seconds.
I'm going to
Never
go
know,
2-1.
will Leeds. That's the beauty of it.
That won't bother me either because I think we'd
Oh, no,
get shit
same.
out of them as well.
Same.
So.
Yeah.
You what, Karl? You 2-1?
I'm going 2-1, but I think
Good
Coventry will score in with the last kick of the game type scenario. Nothing.
Jerry Hicken
crazy.
is in the comments and he said 2-1 to Leeds, and I really like that name, Jerry. Are you from Britannia, Jerry? Are you from the UK?
Jerry.
You don't hear anyone called Jerry over here, do you?
I had an
Show me
uncle,
the money,
Jerry.
Jerry.
Were you small as a mouse as well?
I were massive, so you probably want the blood relative.
Wasn't related to your milkman, clearly.
And he wasn't one of them uncles who was my auntie's husband.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to show you this Somerville thing before we
Yeah.
go.
No, go for it, man.
Try not to screw this up and put wrong screen up.
Oh, he's from Leeds, is our Jezza.
Hey.
Hopefully we won't get cancelled for using a bit of LUTV's highlights.
Well, if we do, Jay.
Today.
So here you go, Smarty. So
Yeah, but
there he
before
is,
this-
clean
before
through,
this-
look, and he's got him there. And then they get in front of him. So had he gone at that
have you got
point,
one a few seconds before?
yeah, I could go
Just
back.
the build up play for this.
Hang on.
That'd have been perfect there. See that bit there for me? Yeah, he's fucking.
So he's gone there,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
grabbed
Yeah,
him.
he's away
gone.
there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a red.
I remember there being a bit of a cluster, but it wasn't even Somerville; it was someone else. So
Yeah.
whatever.
And then
It's a fair few years ago now. Isn't
we
it?
got a comment from Top Banana who said about it. He says, could only be a red if he went down, carried on and got caught by other defenders, so it could only be yellow. I don't agree with that because it's the time the offence is committed, surely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens after that if you're going to say, no, there was no advantage and pull it back, which I'm sure they used to be able to do, but I don't know if they can now because you never see it. But I don't know. I mean, we don't know shit on this podcast, do we? So we don't pretend otherwise.
Look, at the end of the day, we lost the fucking game. Can't
We
talk
did.
about it now.
And it doesn't matter now, does it? But it's annoying.
Yeah, it's a pain in the arse. But on to Saturday, lads, and hopefully one of those 4 results come in. I don't care which one. I just want one of the 4 to come in.
Bang on, Roland.
Button nubs.
That's a fantastic name. Is that actually your surname, Roland? It's a fantastic name.
Who knows, mate? It could be anything on this
I hope it
podcast.
is.
I hope it is too.
I hope it is.
Because imagine that on the back of a shirt. That'd be a deadly name. On the back of a shirt.
Matt Johnny's on. Peace and love
Hey,
always to
Mark.
everybody. Thank you for all the support you've given me. Anytime, Mark. And
Nice to
hope
see
we're
you,
doing
Mark.
all right, mate. I hope we're doing all right. Glad you're in the comments, pal.
Good stuff. Jay, we have one more thing there that you need to do, remember?
Oh, God, yeah, we do, but I didn't know you were going to ask me for it now. Right, okay. It's December, so here we
It's
go.
a professional outfit, this, isn't it?
It is. It's the old Andy's Man Club because we like to rep them on this podcast. They're a good bunch. So this December they have got the Friday the 22nd because we've gone past the first one there. 6:30 till 9. Pool and snooker night at Northern Snooker Centre, Kirkstall Road. Be on the tables upstairs. Small donations welcome but not necessary. And Sunday the 31st, New Year's Eve, as it happens. Walk and talk at Temple Newsham alongside Women's Wellbeing Network, Leeds Dads and Mental Health Mates Leeds, meeting in the Temple Newsham Cafe courtyard. So if you're feeling a bit down or Christmas ain't for you, as it isn't for some people, and you just want to get out of the house, you don't want to be on your own, you just want to talk to somebody who might be able to sort of listen, and you might be able to listen to them too if you're feeling up to it. You can help each other. Good bunch of people, and they're there. You don't even have to.
On your own.
You don't have to say anything if you don't want. You can just turn up and just not be on your own.
Sometimes it's a stressful time, isn't it, lads?
It is.
It's not all happiness and joy for a lot of people. It can be sad. It can be a bit of a shit do for a lot of people. So even if you're out on your own, you're struggling, you want someone to talk to, get yourself out there, and go and speak to these lot. They're a cracking bunch, and
they are
really. They are, and they've got a new site opening as well. I don't know if you want to mention that, Jay.
Yeah, I don't have the details for this other than I know there's a new site opening. It's going to be in Seacroft.
It is in Seacroft.
Yeah, so that's going to be another one in Leeds, and hopefully a bit nearer to a few more of our listeners and viewers, because we want you all to be all right, as much as you wind us up sometimes.
Well, it's always good to talk to a stranger sometimes, It is. That doesn't know your background.
Unless he starts offering you sweeties or wanting to go and look at some kittens or some puppies in his van.
Yeah, don't get in the back of any vans.
Don't go look at some kittens.
It is sometimes easier to chat to somebody who is kind of in the same boat, but they don't know anything about you, so they won't know the people you're talking about, they won't know the situations you're referencing. It can be quite freeing, quite liberating to do that, so don't write it off. Give it a chance. Get out there.
And also, just while we're on Andy's Man Club, we're all taking part in the mural walk. You can go
Mural or Muriel?
The good old Muriel.
Well, Muriel.
Muriel's wedding.
You'll never get married, Muriel.
Of course, you've seen it.
Oh, very good.
So yeah, we're doing the walk. We're doing the mural walk. I think it's something like 27 miles or something like that. Jay is going to get in shape and join us. Well, I say
I'll join you. I didn't commit to anything else.
Bullied him into it, so.
Jay's allowed to bring some sort of transport or some sort of mobility device because obviously it's twice the distance.
I'm coming on a Sinclair C5.
Just get one of them mobile scooters, the old ones.
Can I just pull up one? Can I just pull up one comment? John said, "For fuck's sake, Seacroft is miles away from Gummersall." Yes, but there is one in Batley, John. So if you are thinking about going, mate, or anyone you know, there is one in Batley, just in case.
So there you go.
There you go.
And don't write it off just because there's people from Batley there. Everyone's all right.
I'm from Batley. So.
And there
you've ruined that, Smarty.
Like that. So have we any other business before we finish, lads?
Probably, but I won't remember it.
Oh, that's fair enough. Smarty, do you want to stay on here for a few? Like you've 10 minutes left to do. Like, so should me and Jay just?
All right, shall I just?
Smarty, do a little outro.
That's it.
We'll do Smarty show.
We'll play some like live hangman or some shit. I don't know.
Like Desert Island discs.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we'll call it quits there before we start playing our playlists from Spotify and losing all our listeners. It's been lovely having you on again, lads. Thanks very much. And,
yeah, it's been good. Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah, eventually. And I will see us both for a pint on Saturday.
You sure
absolutely.
Take care, folks. Catch us later.
Adios.
Bye.